the next artist and I actually have a common connection, and it is that he's a fellow Dubai kid who was actually studying engineering, but then he later decided, no way that this is going to be my career. I really just got to get up and start doing music. So, performing his original song for us today, Walking on Mars, let's give it up for Prithvi Prajosh.
Life in my dreams, it all feels so real. Your rainbow colored eyes bring me to my knees. Ethereal visions out of this world. Smell the flower power, stay here with me. The stars in the sky have got nothing on you. Heaven in your eyes, there's sunset blue. Baby, I'm walking on Mars when I'm with you. Baby, I'm walking on Mars. When I wake up, you fade away. The colors in the sky, they turn back to gray. Terrestrial sights crowd up my room. You are my power flower till the morning blue. The stars in the sky have got nothing on you. Heaven in your eyes, there's sunset blue. Baby, I'm walking on Mars when I'm with you. Baby, I'm walking on Mars. We'll float amongst the stars as we draw each other's missing parts. We'll go dancing on Saturn's rings, exchanging our wedding rings. Honeymoon on Jupiter, anything you prefer, we'll do it all together. The stars in the sky have got nothing on you. Heaven in your eyes, there's sunset blue. Baby, I'm walking on Mars when I'm with. The stars in the sky have got nothing on you. Heaven in your eyes, there's sunset blue. Baby, I'm walking on Mars when I'm with you. Baby, I'm walking on Mars when I'm with you.
That was beautiful, man. That was great. That was sensational. Wow. All the words I can think of. That goes to you, man. Prithvi, you've done an amazing job, and I'm glad that I have you on call all the way from Boston. Let's give it up for Prithvi himself. Hi,
Hello.
Prithvi.
Hi, Chinmay. Thank you for the lovely introduction to Tanishq, by the way. And thank you for your sweet, sweet words. Really appreciate it.
Prithvi, it's an honor to have your song here. Walking on Mars, there's a beautiful piece. Just very beautiful. I have some questions about it if you don't mind. I mean, I know it's just morning there, but I hope it's okay.
It's all right. Let's get into it. Let's get deep into it.
Perfect, perfect. Going to the song. First,
Mhm.
I have a question. It's a question about the song where a lot of people normally say, I'll go back to the moon and come back for you. It's a romantic love song. People go to the moon a lot. You've gone to the Mars. You're walking on Mars. What's the logic behind that?
Um, there's always seems to be an obsession with people going into outer space. It's always been like that. And with recently, the past couple of years, everyone wants to be on Mars. And sure, I want to be on Mars now. That's when like the idea came about when a friend of mine, I asked a friend of mine, just give me some suggestions on what I could write about. And there's this comic called Watchmen. I don't know if you've ever read it, but there's this comic, and there's this guy, Dr. Manhattan, who is on Mars. And she's like, "Yeah, this guy's walking on Mars." And I'm like, "Wow, okay, that's a cool idea. That's something to go with." And then I kind of wanted to build up on this fantasy where everyone has their fantasy person, whoever it may be, and you kind of build them up in your head as this outer worldly person, and they can do no wrong. They're the best in the world, in the universe, entire universe. And that's how the idea came about. And then I just kept writing and kind of trying to pick out words and imagery that I could get in based on what I'm hearing or feeling. And it just sort of came out that way.
You said I mean, artists create, like, or you create a fantasy person in your head.
Yeah.
Can you depict us who that fantasy person in your head was?
Honestly, it was all a fantasy. So I don't want to be coy about it, but it was all just something in whatever I felt in that moment. Obviously, I can't really walk on Mars with anyone. That'd be great if I could, but that's not happening anytime soon. But it's just like an amalgamation of people I've come across in my life and just kind of all the best qualities out of everyone that I know just built up into one fantasy person. I honestly don't want to meet this. That'll be a little too much for me to handle. That's expectations will be far too high for me to take care of. So I hope I don't come across that kind of person. But it was great while it lasted. Writing the song was always fun. It was exciting. It was something new and challenging for me as well. So it was very nice.
That's amazing. I actually have a question about the choices of colors that you normally have. Now, I was obviously we had to go and check out your Instagram feed and just look at what kind of artist you are. You pick
Yeah.
a lot of colors like orange, yellow, red, something bright, basically. Is there a
Yeah.
reason? Are they your favorite colors, or what? Do they depict your emotion? What?
They usually go by depicting my emotion. It kind of varies each time. I'm a genuinely very bright and warm person and happy-ish kind of person. So my color palette is usually based on that. I'm not a very gloomy kind of guy. Sure, some of the songs I write are kind of gloomy and sad, and it's always like a drastic contrast to who I am as a person. But yeah, those colors usually it kind of depends on my mood. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm feeling like a little pink today, feeling a little orange today, and this keeps changing, varying on my mood basically. So there's no specific plan to it. I wish I could tell you this. It's all calculated, really. Every month I have a designated color in store, but it's one of those things that it just varies by my mood.
Okay. Now, as part of your introduction, also we got to know about you that you are actually a Dubai kid and you studied engineering. What was that leap like? That leap is always tough. I want
Yeah,
to know about that.
that's everyone's favorite question. Is because the thing is when I started getting into this music as a career for me, my main goal is always to inspire people around me who always are expected to fit the norm and just do what's expected, like do what's expected of you, but kind of inspiring them to chase what they're really passionate about. And that's something I always felt strongly about because obviously I went through that and I did engineering. No one forced me to do it, but in my head I thought, oh, everyone's doing engineering around me. I should be doing this too, and that's how I got into it. But I still stuck to my musical side, and I would perform every now and then. I would sing songs, and I would mostly perform covers. I was like that cover guy. I would just do random covers. I've covered the song "The Scientist" by Coldplay a million times. That's my favorite song to sing. I will keep singing it till the day I die. But it was one of those moments where I would still stick to my musical side, and I would always do whatever I could to stay in like touch with it. And then I reached a point. I graduated from engineering. I did a couple of years. I worked a couple of years, and then it like as the days went on, I realized like this is not something I want to be doing. I can't sit at a desk, and I'm a very lazy person. Sitting at a desk is great, but it's not the fulfilling kind of job that I would want. Which is when I made the decision that I need to do this. I was grateful to have like my parents so supportive of me and my friends who kind of pushed me towards making that leap as well. And then I applied to Berkeley, applied to a couple other places. I didn't expect for this to happen, I got into Berklee College of Music, which was quite insane for me at the time. I accepted the offer. I didn't even think about it too much. I'm like, this is what I'm going to do. And I ended up here, and I actually recently graduated. So in a couple of months, I'm planning on moving to LA, and then we'll take it from there and see how it goes.
First of all, congratulations on not only getting in, but also graduating. That's, I mean, I'm not saying it's a big thing, but for me as a Dubai kid to think about going to Berkeley is huge. It's definitely huge. So
Thank
I
you.
want to ask about that. Like, if I took away the Berkeley aspect of your life, do you think you would have grown as a musician, or what? How would things be different as a musician or an artist?
See, I won't lie. Like as a musician artist, obviously there's so many things that you can learn off the internet, learn off YouTube, and watching videos and all that stuff. Like kind of like build you up in your artistry repertoire and all that jazz. But the thing with Berkeley is that you're surrounded. For the first time in my life, I was surrounded by a community of musicians, and everyone's working towards a similar goal. Right? You'll come across people who want the same thing as you. And in my life, and I experienced that because in engineering, everyone had different ideas in their head, and I was like, I want to do music, and no, I couldn't really relate with anyone on that level. But I came to Berkeley and I met all these people in this massive community who has like a very similar end goal. And at first it was very intimidating because I've never been surrounded by musicians like that. I've never been surrounded by so much talent, and you always go through that phase where like, oh, I'm not good enough to be here and all that kind of stuff. But as I progressed through my semesters, it reached a point where I understood that I don't have to be intimidated by them. I can just learn from them. I can see what they do good, and just learn from that. Take different aspects of the different qualities that they have, learn from it, hone those skills, and then just keep working and building yourself up that way. So it's yeah, and that basically yeah, that's my answer to that. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. You mentioned about moving into LA.
Yeah.
Now, as an artist, people, one of the struggles that they have is like, oh, I don't know how to earn money out of this. You
Yeah.
said you're going to LA, so it seemed like you have a sorted plan. Like, what is it like? Like, what's your plan to
No,
earn?
I want to say that I have a whole sorted plan. I don't. This is one of those things. I'm like YOLO. This is what I have to do. This is what I'm meant to do. I hope, and I'm gonna go to LA. Got to build that network of musicians, and as being an international student, it's a whole complicated with the visa regulations, blah blah blah. So I only have like a year to make things work. Got to get in touch with as many people as I can, find a way because I do want to stay and I do want to settle in LA as well. I believe so because the weather is great and I like warm weather. I like that. No worries about like I can't handle the cold. Being in Boston has been a nightmare during the winter season because I cannot do it. But yeah, the goal is to keep writing. I do want to write for myself and other artists as well. So anyone listening to the stream, if you want to write with me, please go ahead. I can write for you as well. It'll be a great journey to be on. I actually missed a lot of the performances today, but I caught the last few, so I'm going to go back to it. And it's really, really incredible. Like kudos to everyone who performed. It's amazing. And kudos to you and Amara as well, who got in touch like for organizing this event. I know it's been a big process and it was going for a couple of weeks and so on. And like kudos to you, congratulations for this, making this happen.
Thank you, Prithvi. I have one last question before I let you go because
Yeah.
you guys have so many questions. It can't get over. So I'll just stick to one last one, and then you can move on.
Yes.
Is there any future where we see Prithvi performing the Western style that he has with an Indian touch to it or an Indian form joined in fusion?
I'll definitely won't say no to that. I'm always open to trying out different styles. I don't see myself singing I'm from Kerala, so my native language is Malayalam. I don't see myself singing that because I can barely speak it. So it'll be very embarrassing for everyone involved. But I do see myself collaborating with artists from India, from singing Hindi or any kind of language. For me, it doesn't matter what the language is. As long as the music is good, the music is good. As long as it makes you feel like you're in this moment sharing a specific experience, I'm always going to be open to it. So that's something that would be really cool and very exciting. So if anyone's listening, anyone's interested, anyone wants to sing with me, let's do it and let's make it happen.
Definitely, Prithvi. I'm assured that there are people watching who will reach out to you, and there'll be some great content coming from your end. Great music, great art. I think you're going to do great. Please do keep in touch. I think you have a great personality. Like you said, you're a very lively person. I love that. I love that about someone when they're lively. I love the
Thank you.
colors that you choose, the music that you do. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Shimei. Thank you for having me. It's been an honor. You're amazing. Go have a great day.
Thank you so much.